Hello, gorgeous. Do you ever feel like your pleasure or your sensuality is only for the bedroom? Well, imagine a life where you truly saw your body as a sacred temple, a beautiful portal into touching the spirit. Your sensuality is a prayer. Your sexual energy is a force of life that helps you to expand into your existence. So imagine feeling into this. Today I'm sharing my journey of rediscovering my body and reconnecting with my feminine energy and unlocking the divinity of love and sex, changing the way you have sex, the way you make love. So this is all about healing, awakening, and returning to your essence as a woman. But first, my name is Jessica Angelari. I'm a feminine embodiment mentor, pleasure, sensuality facilitator, and I seriously love just guiding women into this space of their hearts, their body, their wombs, to explore their sexuality as sacred, their sensuality as sacred, and using their pleasure as a way to truly come home to themselves. And this all ripples into your life, your creations, your abundance, and of course, sex. The way that you feel about yourself ripples out into your sex life. It all stems from your connection with your divine feminine energy. So before we start, make sure to join my free program, Erotic Feminine Embodiment. The link will be below. This is a free 7-day series of embodiment, pleasure, sensuality to help you get started on this journey of connection, of self-love, of aliveness, of self-worth. And before we do jump into this talk, I just wanted to say welcome to my channel if you are new here. And if you have been following me, if you have been here for a while, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm so deeply grateful for you. And let's dive in to this juicy talk about changing the way that you make love. So I often get asked, how did you have your sexual awakening? How did it start? And I really feel like this is why I'm here. This is what I love to explore. I have studied different tantric embodiment arts, but really, my true awakening didn't happen through all of these strategies and techniques. It was through my own exploration of sex, my own personal experience, and through different types of partners and experiences. And honestly, it's been a slow, intentional unfolding of the relationship that I have with me. And then, of course, with my lovers. I feel like I've always been a very sexual person, very curious about sex, especially since I was a teenager, really. It allowed me to explore my wild, rebellious side because I did grow up in a very closed-minded, you could say, no sex talk, very religious upbringing. And so this has been something that I have always felt very passionate about. And now making love with my partner, well, it feels like more than just having sex. It's really making love with him and also with spirit. So this is why a lot of my work is about integrating sensuality, sexuality, and spirit. I don't believe that they can exist without each other. And maybe that is something that we are all here exploring together on this earth and what that means. When I began to meet myself with devotion, truly connecting with my heart, my body, my womb, my yoni, and then the goddess within me, everything changed. So although I was very experimentative with my sex, I feel like things changed for me when I did get more intentional with my sex and I started to appreciate it as divine and sacred and this beautiful communication that I have with my goddess self. And so through this, I did start to soften. I started to feel the totality of life, this life force move through me. And that's how I believe my sex changed, because my whole embodiment changed. It was like this softening allowed me to open more. It allowed me to be more connected with my worth, like dropped into my worth. I stopped focusing on the outcome and the goal, because for so long, that's how I did walk into my sexual experiences, and how quickly I could orgasm, how quickly I could make him feel good, and how much I could show that I was feeling great. And then if I wasn't having these quick mind-blowing orgasms, well, then I would shame myself. I would feel like that there was something wrong with me, and because I wasn't keeping up to this standard of sex that was given to me. And little did I know that this outward attention was actually feeding my own egoic mind, the mindset that was in fact keeping me small, into thinking that the more that I give, or the more that I perform, or the better that I look, the quicker that I can get there, the more desirable I will be. And the more that I'm fitting into this box that has been perpetuated as this desirable sexual woman who's sexually confident. You know, I've even had women who have walked out of my 10-week group immersion, my temple, Feminine Remembrance. You've probably heard of me speaking about this on my channel, but I've heard women, well, they've come to tell me that they've walked out of this immersion feeling so much more sexually confident. They go into their relationships really trusting themselves and owning their desires, and then communicating that with their partner. But they've also dropped into their body more. And so that has allowed them to open more and feel more pleasure. They have felt more safe in their body to feel that expansive energy within them, which every woman has, every being has. So something happened when I started to meet with me and my heart, and I started to go deeper in my lovemaking, which allowed me to come into this union with a spirit as a way to energize not only my body, but my soul. So my sex actually started to ignite my soul and nourish my soul when I started to go into this more intentional, like a ritual. So my lovemaking changed when I started to actually love my body and live fully in my body, encompass my body in all of its senses, its emotions, its sensations, the feelings. All of this is connected. And letting go. So when you step into this space, you also let go of this image or the idea that then I have to be a certain way. I have to look a certain way. I have to be more feminine, or I have to be more seductive in a way that doesn't feel authentic to me. I have to have a flat stomach. I have to have no cellulite. I have to have full round breasts in order to be desirable or loved, or to be sexy for that matter. So when you do come into this space of like fully owning your body, fully loving yourself, not on surface levels, but just in every way, like completely coming into this space of owning your erotic expression, things change. You own your sex. And honestly, this has been my journey of loving myself, loving my body, owning my expression, owning my voice, being really confident in being seen in my unique expression, because most of my younger life was around dieting and trying to look a certain way, struggling with weight issues. It was very much in my mind, to be honest. But through this work of loving me deeply and building this inner trust with myself, through my womb, through connecting with my yoni, connecting with my naked body, I started to choose me and to choose to see the beauty, the natural radiance that I am. And I'm saying this because this is also your permission slip. My beauty, your beauty, is just you in your natural essence, this innocence. And it has to happen when you choose you and your sensuality that also isn't always tied to your sex or an outcome. It's about you practicing being in your body and being seen in your body. And when you do, your standards change, your boundaries become more locked in and enriched and unwavering. And this is self-love for me. Because in this space of living from my heart, I can be myself. And when I'm myself, I'm more myself in sexual experiences. When I love all the parts of me, including my body, my emotions, really allowing myself to fully feel, then I experience more pleasure. I open to more pleasure. When I have this love for myself, I'm also loving not just pieces of me, the whole me, my whole womanhood, my yoni, my body, even the parts of me where I feel shame, where I feel fear. Really owning that has led me to discovering the divinity of me and therefore the divinity in my lovemaking. So I started to intentionally and explore this consciously with my partner, getting curious. This curiosity has allowed me to also notice myself. How am I holding myself in sex? Noticing how I feel when I'm orgasming, what happens to my body? What happens when I'm feeling more closed off or when I'm not fully softening? There is something that's blocking me from receiving. And so through my years of exploring my own sexuality and exploring different kinds of sex with different partners, and now in this deep exploration with my partner, I come into this every single time like my sex is going to be different. I have no expectations. I don't know where it's going to lead me. I don't know if there will be an outcome, and that's okay. It's not about that. And instead, it's me just and my partner stepping into this sacred space with openness, letting go of outcomes, being really intrigued and having so much reverence for each other and each other's energy and this beautiful gift that we get to experience, which is that of pleasure. And not just because it feels so damn good, but because this is a space where you can create as well. It's the way that you energize your spirit, because when you're unlayered and you come into this space fully occupying your senses and your body and your pleasure, that in itself gives you that chance to step into this portal of love, and you step into this portal to meet with your goddess self. This is how you energize your heart. This is how you energize his heart. This is how you heal, because when you come into this deep loving relationship with yourself and this connection, and you know your worth, you carve out space for making your emotions and needs a priority, you start to experience yourself as a sexual woman. You respect yourself, you respect your space, you respect your what you need and your energy. You respect your sexuality as a sacred gift for not only you and to touch your soul, but also for him. How lucky he is to have this gift of yours. So as you can see, your life and sex are not separate, like we might have been told. Your spirit and sex is not separate. Your spirit, in essence, is you. Just you unlayered and tapped into your erotic innocence. And our whole life is impacted by our sexual experiences. And then the other way around. So in our life, we do see our sexes and life as separate. We don't realize how we have sex actually affects our life, and how we do life affects our sex. So everything that has come from my own experience and being devoted to this experience and pathway, my whole exploration of life and my emotions, my divine feminine, my sensuality has led me to exploring my own sexuality and realizing more of myself through this. So the relationship that you have with yourself, with your body, with your yoni, with your breasts, actually shapes the way that you make love. Like, take that in. The relationship you have with yourself is the way you make love. The way that you honor your emotions, your energy, your rest, the way that you allow yourself to feel pain really affects the way, or is tied to the way that you allow yourself to receive pleasure. And I'm not saying all of this in any way to bring judgment forward, of course not, or to place shame, or even to put pressure on you that you have to be doing it better. We've had enough of that. I'm saying this to help you get started in this new exploration, or this new way of being, and bringing your innocence into it, your curiosity into it. So awakening that inner girl who is curious, who is playful. She desires to be fully embodied. So start knowing your body, start touching your body, start connecting with your body, start noticing what you love, being present with yourself. Start moving your hips, start touching your yoni, start looking at your yoni, start embracing yourself, or looking at yourself through the eyes of love. Look at your relationship with your yoni. Start bringing all of this into your daily practice and knowing yourself in this way. This is the only way to feel this presence and being aware of your aliveness. Start touching your breasts, start holding them, giving them so much love for being this direct connection to not only your heart, but also to be this living prayer and offering of pleasure to you. Because when you do bring touch to them, they do bring pleasure and they stimulate pleasure. So are you leaving pleasure and feeling alive in your body just for sex? Are you allowing yourself to slow down and rest without guilt? Are you honoring your cycle and where you are and your energy? Are you checking in with your body daily? Are you checking in with your sensations daily? Are you having a conversation with your womb? Are you pushing and forcing, ignoring your emotions? Do you see sex and orgasms just as this space to reach an orgasm quickly, to reach an end goal quickly? All of this can tell you a lot about then how we go into sex. So our day-to-day life and how we feel daily, how we connect with ourselves, how we honor our emotions, how we allow for pleasure or not, can be intertwined into your sex life, as well as how you are listening to spirit. So if you're always pushing and forcing an outcome, chasing an outcome to happen, if you're not resting and you know you need to invite in more softness and more relaxation in your days or in your body, if you're always tense and contracted, if you always see yourself as your worst enemy and telling yourself that you're not good enough or worthy enough and you have to keep doing more to prove yourself, you have to keep changing the way that you look to feel more beautiful, all of these can directly impact our own sex life and how we are willing or not willing to soften and surrender to our partner, to receive fully from them. Even the way that you walk. Are you walking quickly? Are you walking slowly? Are you moving your hips when you walk? Are you sucking in your belly all the time? Can you allow your belly to drop and soften? All of these ways, if you start to notice, even just the noticing and bringing your awareness here can directly impact your sex life. And this is what I love to talk about and teach about and guide women in this exploration and returning to their body, igniting their sensuality that isn't tied to sex, so isn't directly tied to the bedroom. So in this exploration, we become more ignited in our passion, in our sex life. So it's not a learning about all these different sex positions and techniques. The work is here. The work is in you, in your relationship with your body. Yes, there are beautiful modalities and strategies that I love to share with women, such as the breast massage, the yoni massage, and connecting with your womb space energetically, different hip movements for sure. But these are avenues or pathways into developing this love relationship with yourself, holding more space for yourself and for your emotions. So then they move through you, they can be alchemized through you rather than holding on to them, and therefore your body becomes tight as well. So when your jaw is tight, your body is tight, guess what? Your yoni is tight as well. And when she's tight, she feels more pressure, she feels more tension, she feels more resistance to open and soften and pull in, to magnetize, to receive. So knowing that in everything you do, there is heart in this. There is something deeper in the act of life, in your aliveness, and in your sex, in the way you make love with life. The way that you make love with life in the sense of the way that you connect with life, the way you connect with not only your senses, but how your senses are then able to help you engage with life and nature. It's in the way that you eat, in the way that you smell roses, in the way that you smell your coffee, in the way that you just take in butterflies and bees. There is heart in everything. There is spirit. There is life force in everything. And then the more that we awaken to this within ourselves and within life around us, the more that we feel it in sex too. So your aliveness ripples into all areas of your life. Your aliveness is in your ability to be so present with your body, to be so present with that inner girl within you who desires to be fully open and expressed and connected. She's not afraid to be seen in her body. It's with you being so embodied in your sensuality, because in this state of openness, receptivity, and flow, that you connect deeper with your body. And then you connect deeper with the words and the wisdom and desires of your goddess. You are then able to connect deeper with your partner. So effortlessly, being present with them, looking at them in their eyes, listening to their sounds, feeling their touch on your body. This aliveness is related to your sexuality, and this is so liberating for us women. It involves you letting go of needing to have sex in a certain way, or stopping yourself from even having sex because you believe that it has to be a certain way. And that puts a lot of pressure on us. It's about knowing yourself so deeply that you know what turns you on and you don't feel ashamed to express that, to tell your partner what you love and what you don't like as well, to guide them. And you know how to guide them because, well, you've explored yourself already. You know yourself unapologetically. You know where you want to be touched. You know how you love to touch your breasts and your nipples and your yoni. What kind of touch? Is it hard, like a hard massage? Is it light, feathery touches? And this is what we can explore out of the bedroom. This is what I love to do, especially in feminine remembrance. It's about you knowing your energy. And then when you know your own energy, you know his energy. You're more tapped in. And you're more tapped into not only your body, but your feminine root. This root that anchors us into the body so we feel safe then to surrender. We feel safe to have a relationship with ourselves with no judgment, to honor our sensations and wherever we are, moment to moment, day to day. And this is how then in this knowing of ourselves is then how we unapologetically step into sex, fully being surrendered and open in our body to allow life to pour through us for sensual passion and aliveness and this feeling of this erotic charge to be fully expressed through you and to be felt through you. And all of this is play. There is no 1-step, 2-step, 3-step guide to getting there. This is all mysterious. It's unknown. There's no rule book. It's a play with life and with yourself, metaphorically and literally speaking as well. And the thing is, this does feel challenging, somewhat challenging for a lot of us women because, well, it has been taboo. Because we don't trust our bodies. We haven't been taught to trust our bodies. We are taught to look outside of us, to ignore our intuition. So of course it makes sense that we don't trust our bodies and her sensations, her signals. There is a mistrust with our connection. And this mistrust stems from shame that we may be carrying. It's no fault of us. I have done a video, an episode about this shame. So I'll drop the link below. Make sure you check that out. Shame and sexuality and how it holds us back. So we as women and men too, they have been relying on things that they have seen or read. So even they have been misled. And I know for most men anyway, they do have a heart desire, a deeper intention to please, to give, to see you feeling nourished and to feel good. This turns them on. But we don't have to lie. We don't have to pretend. We get to shift the story, own our worth, own our standards, and communicate, express, show what it means to be fully alive in the body. Show them what it means for you to be turned on. So it's up to you to learn this by yourself, to practice leaning back, to practice receiving from yourself. When you practice to receive from yourself, receive pleasure, receive your touch, receive your breath, receive your sound, well, then you receive from him too. And I'm not saying we just lean back in sex and do nothing, of course not, but we have to be in this fluency of tuning in, being present, being so connected, present, yes, connecting with your beloved, as well as giving yourself permission to lean back, soften, and receive. It's like an art, right? It's not easy, but once we practice this, it does become easy. And we're all different as well, so we have to guide our lovers through our own unique wisdom. You already know. You already know what you love, what you desire. We just have to trust ourselves, because you are your own best guide after all. So we have to know ourselves deeper. So then we aren't relying on these old prescriptions that were given to us as women and men as well. Instead of staying in these old imprints and conditions that our pleasure is only confined to the bedroom, something that you have to do and achieve and have a certain outcome. Society has this obsession with this kind of sex as well that is wild and rough, but this is just one type. This is not the style that I desire to have all the time. So it's about knowing your energy as well. And that's part of releasing that old prescription, that old idea, that old template that has been given to us, that sex is just this one way. So it's about knowing your energy day to day, knowing how you desire to be touched that day. That changes daily because you are changing daily. You are never the same daily. And knowing this as well, we don't shame ourselves if we don't want it rough, or we don't want it slow or sensual, or maybe not want it at all that day. Sometimes I want this soft and juicy, delicious experience of sex, and then other times it is very wild and raunchy. And as I mentioned, this is usually tied to the energy or the phase of my menstrual cycle. So knowing your own phases and where you are in your menstrual cycle is everything. A lot of us get this information from media, this prescription that I spoke about, this visual that we've been given has really impacted our own ability to feel safe, to let go, to be seen, to be fully expressed. It's impacted our natural innocence, this erotic innocence, and this natural unfolding. It's a false perception, and these ideas that we are shown, we are given to us from media, from what we see, all of this keeps us small. It keeps us in a tiny box, in my opinion. And we miss out on the most exciting part, the unfolding, the mystery, the unknown, the feeling of just being with no outcome, of being with you, whether it's solo or being with your partner, just for the intention of just connecting. So we have to know our bodies and reconnect with the reverence of our bodies. And when we do, we let go of how our bodies are supposed to be and look and sound. And then we show this way to men as well. And we walk into sex fully owning our sex. Men come to us because it's an orgasmic, magnetic power that we have. They are fueled from it. So we have to know what fuels us as individuals to be able to then give our full selves. How can I fuel myself in my own love and heart to then give? To trust my own self-expression in this, to revive my innocence, the aspect of me that is wild, fully in my body, where I'm open, sensual, full, encompassing in my senses, of my senses. This innocence is lost from a very young age. And that is because we've had so much information coming at us telling us and prescribing us the conditioning of sex, how it should be and how it should look. Or it should be just completely lost and forgotten and seen as a sin, as a taboo. So we just don't go there. We don't talk about it. And for most of us, for me especially, I was never given a template, a healthy template of what it means to be fully expressed as, as a girl. And a lot of that is tied together. I'm going to speak about this in another episode about our inner child and sex as well. There was no real safety. There was no real safe and healthy template to explore our bodies, to explore our initiation, to go into our womanhood in a safe way, in a sacred way. And we learn about what is okay and what is not. There was a lot of templates given to us of what sex should be and how it should look and how it should sound, rather than it being an experience of self-exploration and slow unfolding. What about you? Where did you learn this? What was your experience with this? And this is why I'm so passionate about holding these spaces in temples with women where we can fully allow this unfolding and exploring within safety, to lean in and connect with ourselves in a deep, authentic, organic way. This is so important to revive our innocence, this erotic energy that is within us and within all life. To explore your body in a non-sexual way and to offer your body the pleasure that she deserves. To be so present with yourself. When you allow for presence, you allow pleasure to fuel your body. And this is how we restore our innocence. This is how we start to drop back into the body and feel safe. When we explore ourselves and we feel safe to do so, and we explore our bodies. When I say body, I mean your entire body, your sensations of what touch you love, making sounds, touching your breasts, touching your yoni, exploring your sensuality and being in play with this, you start to call back your power. You remember who you always were. And in this remembering, you enjoy your sex more. So we have to allow ourselves to drop into the body and experience our sensuality in a way that feels true for us. That's how we slowly pull away from those chains and those threads that keep us small. So how you soften and how you rest in your daily life, how you know your energy, the relationship that you have with your body, with your naked body, will determine how you allow your yoni to soften. And that will flow through all the flavors of your life. This kind of connection just needs to be practiced. Like I said, there's no one rule handbook. We have to practice this leaning back, practice this receiving of pleasure, of opening, softening, which can feel difficult. It's difficult because this kind of connection hasn't been shown to us. We have been used to seeing our bodies as this mechanical structure to get things done, to go from A to B, from thinking instead of feeling and trusting our intuition. So we just have to practice this kind of connection. Practice connecting with your sensuality through pleasure practices like touch, moving your hips, touching your womb, opening your legs, visualizing light to pour through your body and your yoni. These are beautiful ways to activate your aliveness. this erotic energy, and it happens in a very simple way. It's all a play, my loves. So when you do play with your body, explore your body, love on your body, your sex becomes so more enriched, beautiful, nourished, meaningful. And this is what I desire for all women. And if you require support in this, reach out to me. Make sure to get onto the waiting list of Feminine Remembrance, Come Home to Yourself. This is exactly what we do inside of this temple. It is life-changing, transformative. It will change the way that you feel about your body, the way that you connect with your sensuality, and therefore the way that you walk into your sex life, feeling more confident, vibrant, and overall just owning it and seeing it as such a sacred act to know not only you and your partner, but to come into this beautiful communion with the divine, with spirit, with the goddess. Thank you so much. Let me know what landed, what resonated with you. Are you ready to claim, reclaim your power, your sex as your power? Let me know in the comments. Give me a yes if that feels like a yes for you. And if you liked this video, please give me a like, make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for being here and watching. My name is Jessica Angeleri. I'm so deeply grateful for you. I will see you again soon. Until then, make sure you take care of yourself, start connecting with yourself, and remember how beautiful you are. Thank you, beautiful. Bye.